Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. All right. The girls are fighting. Tucker Carlson and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was asked the other day, what took Ukraine funding so long? And McConnell had a couple of answers to it. He started off by saying that the demonization of Ukraine began by Tucker Carlson, who, in my opinion, ended up where he should have been all along, which is interviewing Vladimir Putin. There's a mic drop. He went on to say he had an enormous audience, which convinced a lot of rank-and-file Republicans that maybe this was a mistake. He then followed up to say that our current nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all. That took months away from our work to get this passed through. So basically, Mitch McConnell put the anti-Ukraine sentiment crosshairs directly on Tucker Carlson, further saying that this is basically a Putin talking point, and Tucker Carlson amplified it to his viewers. Yeah. The magician just popped out. Yeah. A little peek behind the curtain there of what's going on. The talk about the Republican Party splitting, fracturing, it's really evident that there's a pro-Putin faction in this Republican Party because about half the House members are there. And McConnell is not mincing words when he's saying who's fueling the fire on this or fanning the flames, and that's somebody like Tucker Carlson. So I want to look at the energy around Tucker Carlson here, and actually let's look around the energy with McConnell in relation to Tucker Carlson and this Ukraine aid. And then we can start digging down into Tucker Carlson. Okay, entertainment purposes only. What do I know? I'm just some random dude on the internet throwing tarot cards with a black cat that occasionally crashes his videos. Right now, he's pretty wild. He's pretty riled up. He may make an appearance. Current situation with regards to Mitch McConnell and Tucker Carlson, the energy around that comment. 7 of Wands. There's a fight going on. A battle for supremacy. And this really is between what would normally be considered a conservative and what would consider to be a Putin faction of the Republican Party. Okay, I'm one card in. Sidebar. I had a conversation with my brother today. And we're talking about doing some videos together on tarot readings. And he figured, okay, if I'm going to provide a conservative viewpoint or counterpoint to what you're saying, I should probably watch some Fox News just to get up to speed on what's going on there. I had a phone call with him today. He was telling me this. He goes, Dave, oh my God. It's like, they're crazy. The propaganda. It's like, yeah. Yeah. He was talking about basically the adjectives. How MSNBC, the BBC, CNN will represent students protesting against the treatment of the Palestinian civilians in Gaza. Whereas in Fox News, they would say, anti-Israeli antagonists going after, what. And he's like, oh my God, the spin they put on these things. He's seeing the light. His comment was, if that's what they think are Republicans now, I'm okay being called a rhino because there's no way these guys represent my values. They can get there. Do not lose hope. They can get there. Not that supporting Mitch McConnell's any great shakes, because it isn't. But Mitch McConnell is at least a bit more of an American patriot than Tucker Carlson. That's not saying much, because Mitch McConnell's done some shady-ass crap along the way. But maybe he has a line he doesn't want to cross. Anyways, this is, I think, the battle for supremacy for the Republican Party. Who's going to control it? It's going to be the Mitch McConnells, or is it going to be the folks that are influenced by Tucker Carlson? Crossed by the Justice card. Yeah. about that. When you take an oath to the Constitution, when you take an oath to uphold the Constitution as a Congress member, you're supposed to do something like that. Now, Tucker Carlson's a broadcaster. He's never taken that oath. So he's not required to uphold the Constitution. I think pretty much what's happening here is McConnell is kind of setting the stage for that break between the two parties. And he might know a little something about any investigations going on that might involve, Tucker Carlson and those members of Congress that are members of the coup or support Putin and such. Regardless, there's a justice component here that I think you could look at it that McConnell's calling it like it is. Hey, let's call it what it is. This is Tucker Carlson going out and doing things that benefit Russia. There's no other way to frame it. American values, conservative values are at stake here because Putin doesn't hold conservative values. He holds authoritarian values. And right now, the Republican Party is split whether they want to be conservatives or authoritarians. And it could be that McConnell's also trying to preserve a little bit of his values or even his legacy going forward. He is stepping down as the Senate Minority Leader come November. Mind you, there's no love lost here for me for McConnell. None whatsoever. This guy has been a horrible actor. Good politician. Great politician. He is great in that he's been able to get his agendas through by any means necessary. And, a very Five of Swords kind of energy of, I don't care what it is as long as I get what I want type of thing. But, he wanted all the border stuff that they voted on, and Tucker Carlson and his minions crushed that. So what do they get? They got the funding for Ukraine and none of the border stuff. So I think McConnell's really upset with Tucker Carlson because he and his ilk screwed up what was going to be a great deal for the Republicans. In the past, we got the Eight of Swords. I think also frustration by McConnell because his hands have been tied. Normally, McConnell commands the Republicans, and the Republicans were all in lockstep. So, you didn't have people deserting the party or challenging McConnell's authority. And same thing in the House. The Republicans were really good at being in lockstep. But, the Tucker Carlsons and the Putin faction here, the extremists in the Republican Party, have been slowly taking over like cancer in the House of Representatives. And it totally screwed up a deal that McConnell had ready to go. McConnell's at the mercy of these crazies in the House. And he doesn't like it. And he knows Tucker Carlson is one of the big reasons why. You could probably insert Fox News into that, replace Tucker Carlson with Fox News. But Tucker Carlson was the mouthpiece for all this. Current situation is the Nine of Swords. Again, I think it's that visible frustration from McConnell that Tucker Carlson has made governing extremely difficult, and his recklessness McConnell sees the writing on the wall, basically. That's where I think I'm going with this. McConnell sees the writing on the wall. Tucker Carlson is going to be the undoing of the Republican Party. He and the Twitter faction, the social media faction that go off of social media clicks and just being outrageous and such, they are going to cause a backlash and a blue wave. I mean, already trying to steal the election and all this has gotten Democrats motivated. Getting rid of Roe v. Wade is going to get women motivated. And McConnell sees the writing on the wall. The gerrymandering and the voter suppression only goes so far. If you've got motivated voters, the Democrats are going to get in. And guess what happens when the Democrats get in? They are going to start undoing all the stuff, all the shenanigans McConnell's been up to. The one thing they will have a difficult time with, which was McConnell's last act, was all the federal judges that McConnell put in there. That's going to be what ties things up in the courts for the next 30 years as the Republicans fail as a party and fade as a political influence. That's going to be their present for us. Overarching energy is temperance. McConnell's patient. He's patient. He, does his negotiations, but always from a position of advantage, and waits for the right timing on things. Again, he's a great politician. His policies are crap, but he's a great politician as far as that goes. And I think Ukraine funding was done, and there's probably not much more the Republicans can do in the Senate or the House. So now he's calling out Tucker Carlson as the cause for this. And it's now, again, going to be a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, as it were. The lesson to be learned is the Four of Coins. The Republicans used to keep everything in-house. They had their conservative values. They were locked down tight. They didn't want to expand. They didn't want to grow. They don't want to evolve. They want things the way they always have been. But Tucker Carlson took them to an extreme right position. And McConnell is trying to pull it back. Mind you, most of the conservatives like the extreme right position. They just don't want it. It's funny. The conservatives, even the really hardcore conservatives, might look at the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Matt Gaetzes and such and say, that's too extreme for me. I'm a rhino at that point. So it's trying to maintain a grip on power, a grip on his values. This is, again, a battle for the soul of the Republican Party. Outcome is the Knight of Cups. Maybe through... It's hard to believe that would be anything conciliatory. I think McConnell's message was there are real Republicans and there are fake Republicans. And the fake Republicans refer to the real Republicans as rhinos. Something to that effect. It's also, in some ways, gives supporters of the GOP an out. Because the GOP likes to blame people, right? McConnell's giving them a face and a name to blame. They are not friends. I don't know if they've ever been friends. They could have been useful allies, and I'm sure they were useful allies at one point. But yeah, that usefulness has gone away. How did Tucker Carlson react? Because he had to have heard this. There's no way that Tucker Carlson could be oblivious to McConnell's comments. What is Tucker Carlson? How did he react to that? What do you think of McConnell? Ace of Swords. As much as I like to say, McConnell's got a point. Oh no, I think from Tucker Carlson's point of view, it's like, oh, and that's how we're going to play. Okay, I can do this. Remember, Tucker Carlson has a reasonable shot at being Trump's VP. I think there's a reasonable shot, or more than a reasonable shot, that Tucker Carlson could be in that position. And, oh Lord, are we in trouble. But right now we're talking about McConnell. Yeah. Carlson is at a crossroads here. Part of him's like, oh yeah, you want to fight, McConnell? I'll bring you a fight. But on the other hand, he's all about making money. And, is the crossroads is, do I go after McConnell and he wants to start a war, I'll show him how well I can fight. I can take the former head of the Senate down, no problem whatsoever. This old man's like wilting. His laurels are wilted because he's only there because of his past successes, and he has no future successes. Versus working on whatever agenda he's working on, making money, doing whatever it is. He's kind of at a crossroads, which way he wants to go, which way he wants to divert his energy. In the past, we got the Four of Wands. I would like to think, I think before, it's like McConnell and Tucker Carlson probably saw eye to eye. Tucker Carlson certainly amplified Republican talking points, and everything was fine until it wasn't. Until we had a split or almost a divorce here. And that's kind of what we're going through now, is the divorce of the Republican Party. That Justice card comes up again. Is that in the same position? No, I don't remember what the last spread was position-wise. No, I think the Justice was the cross. Current situation is the Justice card. I would not be surprised if Tucker Carlson is subject to a Justice Department investigation here. Or there might be some legality issues that Carlson is currently dealing with. This came up twice. There's some legal stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. McConnell knows about it because it was crossing. Carlson knows about because I think he's currently dealing with it. And I don't think it's Trump's trials, per se. Although, the January 6th stuff, Tucker Carlson could very well be have some implication in that from all the text messages and such. But there's a justice component that Carson's dealing with, and maybe that's why he might have to ignore what Mitch McConnell. He wants to go after McConnell, but maybe he can't because he's going to have to make up money. There's something with the Justice Department here, or there's something with justice here that he's dealing with. Overarching energy is the Page of Wands. Tucker Carlson, I'm just asking. It's messaging about actions. I'm just questioning people's actions. I'm not his lame-ass lines where he tries to have plausible deniability. His interviewing of Vladimir Putin and such. I'm just a traveler. I'm just a traveling journalist with low journalistic integrity going out to interviewing Vladimir Putin because that's a good idea. Now, there's something going on with Tucker Carlson. And it could be related to the money thing. He's, whether he's on X trying to get his podcasts up, he's trying to stay relevant. Because the thing is, when you're on Fox News, you're in front of millions of eyeballs every day. When you're not in front of Fox News, you need to sort of, if you want to reinvigorate your audience, you need to get them to follow you. And the audience is more loyal to Fox than it is the opinion hosts. Lesson we learn is the King of Wands. Tucker Carlson is trying to graduate from the Page to the King. He's trying to move from a minor player to a bigger player. One who makes decisions. I wonder if he's actually contemplating going to another news network. If his individual podcasts aren't succeeding, he could go to Newsmax or OAN and he'd be the absolute king there. Because on his own, he's a page. So it's almost like he's ignoring the whole Mitch McConnell thing because his mind is on other things. McConnell's kind of just an annoyance. Like, oh, what does that old man know? I've got bigger fish to fry. And he might have the Justice Department after him. So on the one hand, he's got to protect himself from the Justice Department. On the other hand, he wants to make some money and be a big fish again And that big fish, maybe that's the decision he's making. Does he go to a different news network? The outcome is the two of coins. Weighing his options. The good and the bad of certain things. Being independent versus joining a network. Yeah, or even could be like in some type of negotiations. I wouldn't be surprised if Tucker Carlson is in negotiations to join another news network. I don't follow his story at all. I've done no lookups on Tucker Carlson news items here. I mean, literally all I did was look up. I had seen the quote about McConnell, and it showed up on my CNN feed when I was looking for news articles. I was like, oh yeah, I keep wanting to read on that. And all I did was I watched a very short clip from a CNN video on it, and then I found a USA Today article which basically had the same text. So there wasn't a whole lot to go on other than the girls are fighting. Okay, so Tucker Carlson, are you looking at going to another news network? What is that? What's that Page of Wands, King of Wands thing? Is that another news network you're going to? Get a little clarity on that. Star! He's a star. He wants to be a star again. Yep. He wants... Okay. He misses being in the limelight, and he's going to try and figure out the best way to get in there. We got the double card coming up here. And the Empress. Who's going to take care of Tucker? Is Putin going to take care of Tucker? Is OAN, Newsmax? He's just, he likes having this influence over people. Tucker Carlson's wealthy enough. Okay. Well, first off, I should never be, me, or nobody else should tell anybody if they have enough money. That being said, I'm sure Tucker Carlson is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. At some point, all you're doing is just making more money, probably for ego's sake. Because what is there that you haven't been able to buy that your net worth doesn't allow you to buy? You know what I mean? It's like, how many castles do you need to own? How many jet planes do you need to own? How many fancy cars do you need to own? How much is enough? And, literally, Elon Musk and other folks are building their own spaceships because they have so much money. They're so bored. They don't know what to do with themselves. So they're going to build their own spaceships, because then they could be like the only kid on the block that has his own spaceship. That type of thing, that type of mentality. He wants to set himself up comfortably, but he misses that influence that the star power has. And I think he's seen his influence decline, and he's trying to figure out a way to get his influence back up. And again, I saw that card just coming off the top here. In the past, the Devil card. He was on Fox News, which is the biggest news network, touting the wonderfulness that was Trump, even though he personally, apparently, according to his text messages, cannot stand Donald Trump. Said so. But he knows where the viewers are, so he knows what he has to say to get people to, if he's on Fox News, if Fox News is the devil, he's one of these people that was voluntarily on Fox News. If he was Fox News, then people will listen to him. He needs to get his minions back, is what I'm trying to say here. And Fox gave him those minions, and he may be having a hard time getting those minions to follow him. Fox was the demon, not Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson wants to be the demon here. He wants to be as big as Fox News. Current situation is the Three of Cups. Yeah. He's looking for the celebration. He's looking for the accolades. He's looking to be the toast of the town again. He wants people to celebrate Tucker Carlson for the genius that is Tucker Carlson. In other words, it's almost like, who was the star? Was it Fox News that was the star, or was Tucker Carlson the star? So he's kind of having like a moment where he's an identity crisis, because maybe maybe the only reason why he was a star was Fox News provided him with an audience. Overarching energy is the Ace of Pentacles. So he wants to be saluted. He wants to be that popular person that everybody celebrates. And he knows it's like there's a lot of value to him for this. He also wants the money. He wants the money that goes with the accolades. He doesn't want one or the other. He wants both. So maybe there's a big opportunity coming up to him here. This Two of Coins. There's a big opportunity. Maybe, it could be like, Fox is willing to take him back at a lesser role, or maybe he could go to another established right-wing news media source and get paid a lot of money. Or does he stick it on his own and be a lone star, as it were? And he doesn't make as much money, he doesn't have as much influence, because not many Fox viewers are going to go looking on Twitter for Tucker Carlson's account. So he has to make it easy for them. The lesson, and I think that's what this card is right here. The lesson is the Eight of Swords. His viewers have made themselves hostage to Fox News. They don't change the channel. That's who they watch. So if you go to a different news network, will they change the channel to follow you over there and celebrate you? The other networks will probably pay you the money to be their head star, get the Ace of Pentacles to be the star, but is your influence going to be diminished? And I think the influence is what he wants right now, more than the money. I'm sure it goes back and forth. When he doesn't have the money, he wants the money. When he doesn't have the influence, he wants the influence. Outcome is the Nine of Swords. I'm sort of going with this, is that he's not getting what he wants. No matter what choice he makes, if he stays an independent star, they're not coming to his channel. If he goes back to Fox News, his star is diminished. And he doesn't want that. If he were to go to OAN or Newsmax, yeah, he's the star there, but he's still diminished because people won't change the channel to go watch him. They'll just watch who's already on Fox. So in some ways, it's this is almost like the humiliation of Tucker Carlson, thinking that he was bigger than the network and all that, and he's finding out that he wasn't. Okay, lastly, that Justice card. McConnell had the Justice card. Tucker Carlson has the Justice card. What's up with the Justice card and Tucker Carlson? What's that all about? It's funny how these readings go. I get little hits here, and then I want to go dig down and find out more about it. Was not looking at doing a reading of, is Tucker Carlson going to go? Is he having a dark moment, a dark midnight of his soul, moment? What am I going to do? How am I going to be relevant and make money? Okay, Justice card. What's up with the Justice card here? Mitch McConnell and Tucker Carlson. Hey, it could be something just simple as, you made your bed, now sleep with it, sleep in it. The walking away, the moving away card. It could be just something as simple as that. Tucker Carlson has, he was basically kicked out of Fox News, and he did it to himself, and he's basically kicking the Republican Party away too. So he's walking away from the things that made him famous. I was going to do a 7. I'm going to do a 4 card here. No, let's do the full 7. And the Two of Coins. Yeah, it's like he's becoming less relevant. Tucker Carlson's becoming less relevant. It's like it's the end of his career. And McConnell, is willing to put another sword in Tucker Carlson's back because of it. And Tucker Carlson, his values are all messed up. And he doesn't know which... It's almost like Tucker Carlson doesn't know which way to go. In the past Knight of Pentacles, Carlson was acting as a mercenary. Now, he was paid well by Fox, but he was also spreading Russian talking points. So he was kind of playing dirty on both ends with this, because he was representing himself as, as Republicans and conservatives and folks on the right, patriots, freedom. They have their buzzwords, America, patriot, freedom type thing. He was a traitor. He was a mercenary. He didn't care about any ideology. He cared about his popularity and making money. His current situation is 8 of Swords, and now he's stuck. His arrogance got him kicked out of Fox News, and he lost audience, and he's having a hard time getting that audience back. And, it looks like he and Putin had a bit of a falling out. So Tucker Carlson, the mercenary lost his two main patrons, if you will, in the form of Fox News and Russia. What would the reading be without all together now? The drunken hillbilly, the drunken hillbilly brawl card, the hillbilly drunken brawl card, the drunken hillbilly brawl. Yeah, he's okay. So sorry, as I ponder the name, he's trying to stir up shit. Lack of a better description. Tucker Carlson's whole jam was getting people anxious, stirring them up, getting them motivated, getting them angry, getting them out on the street to fight. And he seems to have lost that. People aren't reacting to him like they were before. And he's trying to stir things up, and it's not working. Lesson to be learned, the Four of Swords. When they took him off the air, his power diminished. It's funny because he had an ability to reinvent himself, do something different, think about what he's done in the past, and disassociate himself with it. And he's not going to go that route. The man who would be king, he wants to be king of the hill again. He felt that he was king of the hill at Fox. Now I was asking what that justice card was for. That justice card is just basically, he was his own undoing. His decisions, his actions were his undoing. And he doesn't like being silenced or darkened here. He wants to rule. Which kind of is where the extremist faction of the Republican Party finds themselves. They're not interested in governing, they're interested in ruling. So expect more mayhem from Tucker Carlson in the future. I don't think we're done with him, and he's not done with us, in as much as he wants to be back in the public spotlight again. But just because he gets back in the public spotlight doesn't mean it works out well for him. It just means that's where he wants to be. We'll see if that works out for him. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything to do to feed the YouTube algorithm so that the video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.